time to get your fix. Come on down, get your horrible gaming review. 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 Wow.
Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming. And it's been a little while since I've done one of these. I'm going to give you a rundown on that and do one more of these. So let's get into it. My initial disclaimers, as usual. Usually only get about 5 to 10 hours with the game, so the word horrible in the title of this video does not necessarily refer to the game or DLC I am reviewing, but much more the video itself. I do snap judgment reviews here. I'm only getting about 5 to 10 hours with the game, so I'm just trying to give you an idea of whether you're going to enjoy it right off the bat or not. That, coupled with the fact that I believe video games are one of the most subjective forms of art, I do not give scores to my reviews. Instead, I will tell you whether I will tell you what the game is. I'll tell you the pros and the cons of the game in my point of view, as all reviews are, and then I'll tell you whether I overall will be sticking with the game or not. That being said, I know a lot of people came here for my reviews, and it has been a very long time since I've done one. The big reason is I'm kind of in a weird conundrum spot. The title of my videos are horrible reviews, and I thought when I made it that it was a really cool, fun idea. But it ended up kind of coming off clickbaity. I think people click on it because the word horrible is in it, and they just immediately think I'm going to rip apart the game. And I feel like all the views I get are on the pretense of lying, which puts me in a weird spot because I've done over 100 of these, and now I kind of feel like if I change the title of them, people will be confused as to why. So I'm not sure that we're going to continue to do horrible reviews. I do like doing reviews. I probably will do reviews in the future, but I'm going to probably name it something else. So this is probably going to be the last horrible review that I ever do. And what a one to end on. Dave the Diver. Yes, Dave the Diver. Everybody's heard about this game. I'm probably not going to get a ton of views because I'm definitely behind the queue on it, but what is Dave the Diver? Dave the Diver is a 2-bit side-scrolling game. It is 1/2 procedurally generated undersea fishing game, and then it is 1/2 sushi restaurant management game. You package that in with a wonderful, quirky little story. All these awesome pixel art animated cutscenes that will make you giggle and laugh every time, and just really, really good controls. Makes this game so interesting and has catapulted it into stardom. It's an indie darling right now. Everybody's talking about it. But what you end up doing is you're just this guy named Dave who's just a chunky dude who's kind of likes to hang out. He gets pulled in by a friend named Cobra, and Cobra's friend Bancho, who is a sushi chef, into basically running this sushi restaurant with the two of them. During the day, you get a morning and an afternoon, and you get to dive each time. Your oxygen slowly depletes and also counts as your life for getting hit. And then you go into this undersea water where everything changes, and then you try and catch fish. As you catch fish, you then take the fish back to Bancho. Bancho makes sushi out of them. It's great. Best comparison for this game is Moonlighter from back in the day. The biggest difference, though, is this is Moonlighter on steroids. It takes every feature and just keeps adding it to you. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, every time I started to get bored of this game, I get another feature or something new. There's also a whole lot of aspects of danger under the water because the things that sell the best in the sushi restaurant are the most dangerous things to hunt and kill. Plus, there is this whole weird undertow story going on where you're trying to find mermen under the water. You're trying to help this enigmatic gun shop owner, trying to help this one girl do her oceanography paper. It's all sorts of different plot lines and stories kind of coalescing into this thing that makes every dive interesting. You're hunting for the fish, but you're also trying to figure out the next aspect of whatever story is. Every so often, you also will encounter a boss. Like I said, I'm between 6 and 10 hours. I think I'm at 8 right now. I've only encountered the first boss, which was a giant squid, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in cons. But overall, that's the game. The ocean seafloor will change just about every time you go in there, so things get different. You can't take anything out that you collect, so it's kind of the same, has those roguelike elements to it, but you can also spend the money to equip your gear to go deeper, to go further, to catch bigger fish, or to actually craft your weapons. There's also kind of a weird monster hunter element to it, where as you upgrade the weapons, they each get like a little tree, and then depending on what materials you collect under is which you can kind of build out, which is very similar. Then on the sushi restaurant stuff, you slowly, like as you do better serving people, you actually will serve people, but you also curate the menu. You can enhance the different dishes. You can also hire people and hire staff to assist you in serving the food and pouring the drinks, as well as to assist Bancho in the kitchen with the cooking and whatnot. Then each of those characters can also level up. And I believe I have only slightly scratched the surface on what this game has to offer. I just unlocked the fish farm, and from what I understand, there's also a seaweed farm, a rice farm, a second location that you can open, and something in a merman city. So this game just has everything in it. And again, the story keeps on going, keeps on pulling me in as well, even as silly and over the top as it can be. It's a lot of fun. The fishing mechanics are also interesting because you have a trusty harpoon the entire time that you can slowly level up, but it doesn't do quite as much damage as your guns. Now, if you kill everything with guns, or kill anything, you can pick up their meat and serve the dish, but it will be a lower quality source that you're sending out there, so the amount of money you get back is lower, whereas if you take your time and figure out how to catch them with the harpoon or the myriad of other tools and tricks you get at your disposal, then you get higher and higher and higher rewards for it. So there's this really cool skill reward kind of feel to it. And just the idea of making your dives longer, making them deeper, or taking out bigger things, really fun. Really rewarding too. So let's get into the pros and cons, because that's basically the game. There's not a whole lot else to get to. It has a lot of depth, but on surface it's very easy to describe. My pros, were just how well they unfold the kind of upgrade, kind of unlock thing. Like I said, in the 8 hours, anytime I started to get sick of going back in and fishing, they unlock something new. I have yet to find even all the stuff that I'm supposed to do. And they just stagger it in such a really cool way that as soon as you get used to all those mechanics you've already dealt with, to the point where you're good at them, they add a new one in so that it stays fresh and it stays new, which is really enjoyable. My next pro is the Monster Hunter stuff. Look, this is not a Monster Hunter game. I don't want anybody out there playing hardcore Monster Hunter Rise to think, ooh, I need to try Dave the Diver. But as a Monster Hunter World fan, there is something awesome about the way they use certain details in this game. Killing the sharks, especially, or killing the more evil stuff, is a lot of fun. Each one seems to have its own kind of charge or mechanic that you have to kind of look around. And it's bigger health and whatever. And then once you take them out and carve them, you can get rare items and whatnot. What's even cooler is the weapon trees, the upgrade patterns. It's almost exactly Monster Hunter. You'll have a sniper rifle that you can get, a flame sniper rifle, a poison sniper rifle, or a normal high power sniper rifle, and each one has like an ingredient list, much like Monster Hunter, that you gotta go forward for to get that upgrade to create that tree. I thought that was really cool, and it definitely scratched that itch, which I was not expecting this game to do in any way, shape, or form. Next pro, and this is not a pro I usually throw out there because I'm not a big story guy, but is the story. The narrative of this game is great. It rides this perfect line of quirky and funny while also having some stakes. I enjoy every time I go to one of my side companions and ask them to do something, I get this quick, like 30-second cutscene that's just ridiculous. From Bancho being very anime and over the top when he's enhancing a dish with a sword, or from the gun guy putting on like really crazy classical music while he makes a robot arm move and shift. It's just really cool. The story is great, and I'm kind of all in on the story, which is very rare for me. I find Dave, the titular character, to be absolutely endearing. He's so great. A lot of people underestimate him, but they also do a good job of... I hate in games where you have like a fat or an ugly main character and they're just constantly made fun of the entire time. But they do a great job of balancing that. He is made fun of, but then when he does something good, he is rewarded and people point out how good he's doing. Bancho is always the first to point out he's an idiot, but then when he does something good, Bancho is also the first to point out how good he did and how great he's doing. And I just think it's really cool. It bonds all these characters together instead of having that weird adversarial thing the entire time. And like I said, Dave gets under your skin. You get really like excited to be Dave. My next one is just going to be purely, simply, mechanically the swimming and the sushi stuff. I find it perfect. It's simple, it's easy with the right amount of buttons. There's only one slight con I have, which I'll talk about in a second, but I find the swimming is really intuitive. And I enjoyed how easy it was to pick up, but complicated and difficult to master. Plus, even though this is a 2D game, they still somehow managed to capture this majesty of the ocean, especially behind you and on the later photo missions that you get. Plus, the fish have moved to you really well. When you swim towards the school of them, they swim away in the right patterns. It gives you this feeling that the ocean is very alive and you are very, very much an organism kind of swimming into it. All right, let's get into the cons. There's a couple, just two. One of my big cons is I found the normal hunting really interesting. I found, finding the monsters and slaying the monsters in weird terrain was really interesting. Not monsters, I'm sorry, the fish. But the one boss battle I had, I gotta say I was a little underwhelmed, especially from everything I had seen before. The giant squid, it was very easy to figure out its pattern. There wasn't really anything to it that was special. I never felt like and I don't need a challenging boss fight, but it just like, from the rest of the game being kind of interesting and whatnot, this felt very like straightforward, 1-2 punch. You kind of figured out exactly how to go, and I thought it was a little bit simple for how cool and in-depth the rest of the game was, so I just have to point it out here. The other thing I gotta say is I don't like the initial mapping they have on the buttons. So what the way they do it is to shoot something, to shoot your harpoon or to shoot your gun, you hold down the RT button. Right, no, you hold down the button. I didn't really care for the button holding shoot mechanic of the weapon fire. There's just something kind of weird and off about it. And I always just want to press RT or press and hold the button first, and it just doesn't flow the way that it should on that one. Everything else works really good. It's just hard to get used to. I still find myself every once in a while pressing the wrong one and holding the wrong one before when something hits me or something. Other than that, I thought this game was great. Like I said, so random, so crazy. All of a sudden you'll be in underwater gunfights, you'll be fighting something else, you'll be saving a dolphin. This game is just really, really good at always bringing something new to the table. So, as to whether or not I'm going to stick with this is my new obsession. I'm going to be playing this as long as my body will let me. I love this game. I hope there's more DLCs to come, and I hope there's more added to it. Final disclaimer on the whole horrible review thing. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing horrible reviews. I'll probably do some sort of review process in the future. Like I said, the name rubs me the wrong way. I feel partially like the YouTube name kind of gives me this, the horrible name kind of gives me this false clickbaity thing, and I never wanted that. I was always taking a dig at myself, and I think most people who click on it think I'm taking a dig at the game right off the bat. I'm usually not. I like to give positive reviews, actually. I usually if something's negative, unless I really feel I have to review it, I don't review it. So, yeah. So I don't know. I kind of feel like I gotta change something there. But yeah, we'll probably be back with some sort of review thing in the future. Other than that, you guys can check out everything we have to offer. We both offer TTRPG stuff as well as gaming stuff, content on this channel. You can reach us on Facebook at OmegaDH, on Twitter at Omega9. You can join our Discord, links in the description below. Also listen to all of our shows from there. As usual, if you keep watching and listening, I'll keep making them. See you guys next time.